Hey, Lightworkers. I think many of us at some point in our life have decided, I want to do things differently. I think I want to change my experience. And maybe we just pick one or two things, we change it, and then we go on, right? We just go on with our life. But sometimes these experiences that we want to change, we need help. We need some help and support. Maybe we're going deeper, right, into knowing ourselves. So we might seek out a personal trainer, a therapist, a life coach. There are a lot of supportive groups out there. So maybe a 12-step program or a spiritual or a religious group. Even book clubs can offer a tremendous sense of support. Now, back in the year 2000, I was seeking out a spiritual support system, and I found Unity. Now, what I discovered was that their principles that they live by are actually based on ancient spiritual text. And so I was really excited. I wanted to be studying these, and I wanted to be spiritually connected to other people who were also studying this spiritual path. I also wanted to be spiritually connected to my purpose because I wanted to give some good to the world. I wanted to serve the greater good. Now, after all these years, it's always been the unity principles that I come back to. I've tried other things, right? There are other things out there. But when it comes down to it, when I have needed a sense of support in living my own purpose and finding fulfillment, or if I've been going through a healing process, or maybe I have been facing the next chapter of my life. And sometimes when we're looking at that next chapter, it can feel kind of scary. It can feel like there's just this huge obstacle in front of us, but we need a sense of support. And I got that sense of support from the unity principles so that I could just walk through that door and face all of these changes with grace. I've also used the unity principles when I was tired, not just physically tired, spiritually, emotionally, mentally exhausted. Those times in life where I felt like, okay, one step forward is always two steps back. So unity was what I always ended up turning to when some of these other things I tried, they just weren't working. Now, unity is not the only way. It's not. But it's the way that's always worked best for me. And since this is a whole unity community here, that's my go-to. That's my go-to, and it's what I like to talk about. So today I want to talk about why we might not be living in these spiritual principles like maybe we think we are, but why we're not actually living in these spiritual principles, and we still end up feeling isolated and divided and stuck, even though we're memorizing these spiritual principles and reading all the books. Then I want to talk about what it means to walk in these spiritual truths and live as the empowered soul that we came here to be. In particular, I'm going to talk about principles 1, 2, and 3, which are based directly on ancient Gnostic principles or Hermetic principles. Now, our first and second principle is God is all things, everything that's ever been, everything that's yet to be. And that means everything. That means us. That means me. That means you. That means everybody, even the people we don't like. Okay? Now, this truth that God is all things, this is the truth that we have stepped away from the most. Right now, in our society, the belief that is guiding our experiences is the belief in separation. We're separate from God and we're separate from each other. This belief in separation, it feeds on comparison, which is, well, my thoughts are better than yours and my beliefs are better than yours. And if you don't eat, vote, pray, parent like I do, then you are wrong. I'm right, I'm the most right, and you are wrong. And this comparison leads to conflict. It leads to conflict. Then conflict goes into feeding separation. Separation then feeds into comparison. And then we are going back into conflict, right? Woo, okay? Now, the universal truth that has been shared for thousands of years around the world, thousands of years through different cultures, that universal truth is that God is all things. You are not separate. You never were. You never could be. This divine consciousness permeates all things. Teacher Yeshua, okay, Jesus, he said in the book of Luke that the entire kingdom of God is within you. The entire kingdom is within you. It's not in a building we go to on Saturdays or Sundays. It's not in a special book that we read. It's not even in the mind of the famous gurus who will download it for us if we go spend $3,000 on their weekend workshop. God is within us. From the teachings of the Kabbalah, creation is one emanation, manifest in various forms, all these forms that you see. From the ancient Hermetic or Gnostic text, all is one. All is one. Everything that ever was and everything that's yet to be. The Upanishads, you are that. You're not connected to it. You are a unique cosmic expression of that. Rumi, right, from the teachings of the ancient Sufi. You are the universe in ecstatic motion. From the teachings in Buddhism, there's no separate self. We're all connected. From the Tao Te Ching, everything in the universe is an expression of the Tao. Even in modern physics, the theoretical physicist David Bohm said, ultimately, the entire universe has to be understood as a single undivided whole. See, everything is waves on an endless ocean of light. He proposed something so radical that it sent shock waves through the scientific world. Thank you, David Bohm. He also talked about this implicate order, right? This hidden undivided wholeness where everything is folded into each other. It's entangled. This is a physics term, entangled. You are not separate. You never were. You never could be. Those feelings of isolation, loneliness, having no one that understands you, the feeling of being divided from others because of belief systems, letting fear dictate how we show up every day, this is all a glitch in the human experience. Now, when we practice the unity principles, these ancient spiritual principles that come from our most beloved ancient spiritual texts, it cuts back on the glitching. So, how do we live these ideas? God is all things, that means each of us, and we are creating our experiences through our way of thinking and acting. How do we live these ideas? Because they are big ideas. They are big ideas, and they will send shockwaves through you and into your life. They will. So let's start with our third principle. You create your experiences through your way of thinking and acting. It turns out our thoughts matter more than what you might think. What we believe makes a difference. There's a quote, and it is attributed to Albert Einstein. Although the research I've done, it says nobody thinks he actually said that. It's not in any of his writings. But still, this is a very powerful question to sit and think on. The most important decision you'll ever make is, do you believe you live in a friendly or a hostile universe? Do you believe you live in a friendly or a hostile universe? I like this old parable, and it's been around long enough that I don't remember when I first heard it. That doesn't mean anything, but so there's this, in olden days, let's paint a picture here. In the olden days, there was a grandmotherly type woman who lived in this beautiful city. And every now and then she liked to walk outside of the walls of the city and sit by the gate of the city and just watch people come and go. Well, one day, a young traveler comes walking up to her. He has a big backpack or a big pack. And he walks up to her and he says, "Grandmother, can you tell me about this city? You see, I am a traveler and I'm looking for a new place to experience." And she says, "Well, why don't you tell me about where you just came from?" And he said, well, the people there were very selfish and judgmental, greedy. I didn't like it there. She said, well, I think you'll find the people here to be very similar to where you come from. So the traveler just went on. Pretty soon another traveler comes walking by, big pack on their back. And he walks up to this elderly woman and says, grandmother, can you tell me about this city, your city? I am a traveler and I want to experience new places. And she said, why don't you tell me about where you come from first? So the traveler shares, oh, where I come from, everyone was so kind and generous. I loved it there. People were super friendly. She said, well, I think you'll find that to be the case here also. Welcome. What we believe makes a difference. If we believe we live in a hostile world, we will experience a hostile world. We will see people as greedy and vengeful and, that it's a scary place to wake up to unless everything goes our way. If we believe we live in a friendly world, we will experience a friendly world. We'll see generosity, we'll see kindness and love and mercy. What we believe makes a difference because it guides how we will perceive our life and then take action. It makes a difference when it comes to creating our experiences. What do I believe about all this that's happening right now? Do I believe I live in a friendly world? Do I believe I live in a hostile world? Because it can really look like that. Is this belief serving me? Is it serving me? Okay, if not, I know when I believe I live in a hostile world, that belief doesn't serve me. It makes me feel bad. So if it's not serving us, we can ask, how can I change my thinking so I can change my experience? Well, this is how we change our thinking. We get curious. We ask questions. We go down the rabbit hole. We get curious. We ask questions. We go down the rabbit hole. When I look back over my own life, one of the most exciting decisions that I ever made was to have a midwife and have a home birth for my 2 kids. But I had never even heard of home birth until I went to work for my chiropractor, and she had her baby at home with a midwife. I called this midwife up before I even ever got pregnant. I went down the rabbit hole. I got curious. I asked questions, and it was amazing. And because of all that, I ended up homeschooling my kids too, because my midwife homeschooled her kids. Now, when it comes to our unity principles, and we start asking questions around God being all things, being an infinite source in our universe, things can get pretty interesting. Now, our first principle, God is all things. So we can ask, okay, what do I believe about this first principle? What do I believe about this idea that all is one? Did everything in existence come from one source? Could God possibly be infinite? Or am I separate? Am I separate? Now, it can actually feel anathema to ask this question. Is God all things? Am I an expression of God? I remember the first time I started asking myself this question, am I an expression of God? Then I was looking to see if I was going to get struck down. Get curious and ask the question, what if all is one? What if all is one? And this is the question that will send shockwaves through your life. If God is all things, everything that's ever been, everything that's yet to be, and me, and everyone I know, then that means I am an expression of God. So, of course, I'm creating my experiences through my way of thinking and acting. I always have been. I'm the one that gets to choose how I'm showing up to my life. But if I believe I'm separate from God, there will be days I feel like a victim in my own life, and that's how I'm going to choose. That will be my experience. I show up in a bigger way when I remember God is all things, and that means me. And that's the belief system I'm using to create my experiences now through my way of thinking and acting. And this changes everything. This changes everything. It's also an ongoing process. It requires our maintenance, right? Ongoing maintenance, because there will be days I've gotten up and first thing I've done, I don't know why, I go on social media and I get all mad. I'm not feeling connected then. I'm not feeling aligned with the source within me. I'm looking at other people and thinking, you are so wrong. I go into that separation and comparison and then the conflict. It requires ongoing maintenance. Am I stuck, limited, restricted by what I'm believing about my life right now? And is that serving me? When I remember God is all things, and that means me, I show up in a bigger way. I always show up in a bigger way. You always will show up in a bigger way when you really just know the universe has your back. So here's our affirmation. It's going to be a simple one today. God is all things, and that means me. Okay, God is all things, that means me. God is all things, that means me. Now, there are many ancient texts, I shared some with you, that share this message, that God is all, and we are a part of that all. But there is also this other message in many ancient texts, and you can do your deep dive on this one, right? Get curious, go down the rabbit hole. But the basic message is this: know yourself and you will be free. My favorite version of this quote, or this idea, this universal law, is from the Oracle of Delphi. In you is hidden the treasure of treasures. Know thyself, and you will know the universe and the gods. Remembering the truth of who we are, that we're not victims, we're not bystanders, we are participants, we are players in this game of life. Remembering the truth of who we are changes how we show up to our life. See, we're not becoming something new. We're not becoming something special. We're already the whole package. We're just becoming real. We're becoming authentic. You are already the whole package. Once we stop believing that we are separate, we stop acting out of conflict, we show up as our wild-hearted, brave, authentic selves. You are not separate. You never were. You never could be. So here's our invitation. As you're going through your week, in your day-to-day life, you can think about your belief system. You can ask yourself, if you're facing a challenge or an obstacle, you can ask, what do I believe about my life right now? What am I believing? Do I believe I'm stuck, and so there's nothing I can do about all this, and I can't be happy until things change and go my way? Or do I believe the universe has my back? It has to, because I'm an expression. I'm one of the manifestations of the universe. The universe has my back. I want you to receive this. Just close your eyes for a minute and just reaffirm this in your heart. I'm not separate. I never was. I never could be. What we believe makes a difference. When we remember who we are, we stop waiting for something out there to change so that we can be happy. Awakening to the truth of who we are means we're stepping into our own authority and our own light. We get to choose how we show up. We're choosing how we show up to life. We're choosing to be a catalyst for good. Source, life, light, love, divine mind, God, it works through us, for us, as us. And every day we get to choose how we manage that. Every day we get to choose how we are showing up to our lives, how we are showing up for ourselves, and how we are showing up for others. And that's how we are creating heaven on earth. So remember, you are divinely designed to be doing all of this. You are a one-time, one-of-a-kind cosmic event. In everything you do, you are blessed. And so it is.